Hi, my name is Liz Hathway and this is my astrological look at the week ahead, and that is the week starting the 21st of October 2019. Well, the plot is thickening now this week, isn't it? As we see the sun moving out of Libra, where it's very much about consensus reality, it's very much about finding ways forward, finding balance, finding things that we can agree about, things that we can, that we are on one line. Libra is very much involved with trying to create a kind of new sense of order and balance and beauty. It's Venus ruled, so it wants harmony. And then the sun moves into Scorpio and immediately the whole energy changes. I mean, if we look at Scorpio, Scorpio rules the sex organs. It rules the passions. It rules that area of life which is profoundly mysterious. I mean, why are we attracted to Jim and not to Peter? What draws us to one and not to the other? There's a sort of mystery in that sort of sense of sexual attraction. And let's face it, I mean, it makes the world go round. It is such an important, fundamental part of human life, because through our attractions, you know, the whole creative process is set in motion. This is also, you know, the generative organs where, you know, creativity, birth, but also death. It's all tied into Scorpio. So there's none of this sort of, mental abstraction there, which you can have with the air planets. Water, fixed, is very much about the power of the underbelly, the power of what really moves, what really has the power to move. This is the passions. This is what Scorpio can move. Libra sort of appeals to the mind in a way. It creates or presents us with beautiful images and pictures, but Scorpio takes us back down into the underbelly. It takes us into the gut emotions, the gut feelings about things, which are powerful motivating factors. In fact, the emotions, powerful emotions in Scorpio. Venus already in Scorpio. Scorpio, one of the symbols of Scorpio is the serpent. You know, the serpent who tempted Eve to eat of the tree that would give knowledge of good and evil. You know, so basically what we have there is this idea of waking up. You know, the imaginary world, you know, doesn't exist. It's open your eyes to the real. This is what Scorpio can do as well, and it can be quite unsettling. It can be quite disturbing, because Scorpio as well is nothing. It has nothing to do with dressing things up. It's stark. It's the trees stripped of the leaves, all that beautiful show of autumn. We're done with it. It's the bare bones. That's Scorpio. But that is its power as well. It's an incredibly fascinating, interesting, amazing sign. So we have Venus in Scorpio, as I said already, trining Neptune on Monday. Love that trine, you know, because Venus in Scorpio has a lot of willpower. In as much as she's incredibly passionate, she can also deny herself things. She can also be incredibly ascetic. You know, and with Neptune trining Venus, you know, there's also a lot of compassion there, a lot of wanting to help those that are really need it, that are in desperate need. Venus in Scorpio can work on the edges, you know, can deal with issues that are, for many people, completely unpalatable. There's a power in that trine. It's an opening up. There's a softness there, even though Venus in Scorpio can be quite hard in some respects. Mars trying the nodes on Tuesday, square the nodes on Tuesday. So Mars still in Libra, this sort of trying to take us in new directions as well. You know, it's kind of quite bold, Mars square the nodes, in presenting new images, new, because Mars is in Libra at the moment. So it is trying to point us in new directions to take us forward. There's a challenge there. This is a square. And then, of course, on Wednesday, as I say, we have the sun's movement into Scorpio. You know, Uranus is over there in Taurus, so we know that there is going to be some upsets here. We are heading into that new moon next week on Monday, which is going to be opposite Uranus. So this is what I was talking about in last week's vlog when I said there's a rocky road ahead. You know, why I wasn't very hopeful about the vote last Saturday, as I mentioned at the end of last week's vlog. It's because the condition of the planets, the collective energy at the moment, just isn't indicative of a straight road forward. There are many more bumps on the road, which is what I said last week. So we're coming Venus in Scorpio, so we know, Sun moving into Scorpio, Uranus in Taurus, so that's where we're heading. We're heading in one way, you know, Uranus is always about more space, creating, distance. Oppositions are always a distance, you know, in relationships. But there is that sense as well of new freedom and ability to, if we break ties, one door closes, new doors open. But it's very fraught, that sort of new moon opposite Uranus sort of energy. And I'll be talking more about that next week. It seems that Venus is having a bit of an easier ride this week because she was trying Neptune on Monday, but she sextiled Pluto on Friday. So that's kind of, you know, there are possibilities with the sextiles. As I said last week, you have to work them, but they are pesky little aspects and they can deliver things. But basically this week we're really heading in again to that build up to the new moon on Monday. We have Mars in Libra square Saturn. So this is a kind of a very ambitious square in many ways. Mars square Saturn is always ambitious. What it does is it places the lat very high. Yeah, so, you know, the amount of work that has to be done, there's always that risk of it being underestimated and that you're going to have to slog, and I really do mean slog, to achieve that level of perfection that is being demanded, that goal. The lat is here somewhere. So it's kind of hard to deliver the goods, because what is asked for is exceptionally complex and exceptionally difficult to achieve. So it's a very difficult square. There's a very strong reception at the moment between Mars and Saturn. Saturn in Capricorn exalts Mars. Mars in Libra exalts Saturn. So there is strong support for each other here. But then, you know, strong support for what? You know, what team is this? What side is this on? It also has a quite military feel to it. And one of the interesting things, by the way, that is going to be happening under this Mars-Saturn square, because Mars always has that relationship to the military. It's the fighting arm of the sun. So there's always that sense with Mars-Saturn of movement of armies or troops or military leaders, etc. And I think it's really interesting that, I think it's on Friday, the body of General Franco is being exhumed in Spain. So you remember Franco was a dictator. He had Spain in its grip for a long time. So he's now, his whole influence and impact on Spain is in more recent years, you know, Franco has become an incredibly controversial figure and also a figurehead for the more extreme right within Spain itself. So I think it's on Friday, Franco's body, because he has one of these mausoleums, you know, which has become a sort of pilgrimage site almost for his supporters. His body has been dug up. He's been exhumed, and he's going to be buried alongside his wife, I think, in Madrid. So these are also, you know, like Mars square Saturn, we can also say it's bringing up the bodies. It's bringing stuff up as well, because we're in Scorpio season. If there's one thing Scorpio's not afraid of, it's the ghosts of the past. Scorpio is willing to dig them up and to look at them, because there is that sense as well always with Scorpio, what lies buried and is smelling. You know, if we want to heal that, if we want to kind of move forward, we have to dig it up and look at it. So that's on Sunday. So it's a really interesting week. Okay, so have you got any dead to dig up, any ghosts in the cupboard? Look out on the weekend. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week. Bye.